The story begins in quiet darkness. A small boy sleeps under dinosaur blankets. A lamp hangs above him, still and unlit. Something moves in the hallway. An old woman in black whispers, "Let me in." Cut to morning light. Renee Lambert wakes early in her new home. Boxes fill every corner. Her husband, Josh, still sleeps beside her. Their life looks peaceful, but it already feels distant. She tiptoes into the living room. The walls are bare, the floor creaks. Renee sits cross-legged among unopened boxes and pulls out old photo albums, smiling faces, wedding pictures, reminders of a time that felt easier. Her son Dalton appears at the door, rubbing his eyes. He says he doesn't like his new room. She laughs, showing him pictures of when she was young. They share a soft moment before the baby starts crying. Morning chaos fills the kitchen. Cereal spills, phones ring, kids shout. Josh rushes to work, barely awake, promising to pick them up later, but he never does. Renee handles it all alone, still unpacking as her kids play. Hours later, she sits at the piano, writing a song. The tune is slow, gentle, hopeful, but the house around her feels heavy. She stops playing when the baby monitor crackles. A faint scratching sound comes from the basement door. She opens it, holding her daughter tight. The light flickers. Scratch marks run down the door, as if someone tried to claw their way out. That night, Josh returns home. The house looks livable at last. Renee smiles, tired but proud. Dalton runs around wearing a red superhero cape, exploring rooms they barely know. He finds the basement door, opens it, and steps inside. The wooden stairs groan beneath him. One step breaks. He falls hard. Moments later, his parents rush in at the sound of his scream. They find him crying, clutching his knee. He says he hurt his head. They comfort him, thinking it's just a small fall. But as Renee glances around, she spots a box in the corner labeled lamps, one she's sure wasn't there before. That night, Dalton lies in bed with a bandage on his forehead. Josh tucks him in, joking that even superheroes need rest. The house grows quiet again. For now, everything seems okay. The next morning, Renee calls for Dalton to wake up. He doesn't answer. She asks Josh to get him. Josh walks in, teasing him to hurry before Mom gets mad. But Dalton doesn't move. His eyes stay closed. Josh shakes him. Nothing. He calls his name again, louder this time. Still nothing. Panic fills the room. He shouts for Renee. Cut to the hospital. Machines beep softly beside Dalton's bed. Doctors run tests, scan his brain, and shake their heads. There's no sign of injury, no infection, no trauma. He's in a coma, but not the kind they understand. They can't explain it. Days pass, then weeks. Renee brings him home, now surrounded by machines and feeding tubes. She never leaves his side. Josh throws himself into work, staying late, avoiding the weight of it all. Renee tries to keep the house alive, cooking, caring for the other kids, pretending to be strong. But the house feels colder now. One afternoon, she hears whispering again through the baby monitor. It's not static, it's voices. They sound close, too close. A deep voice says something she can't understand, then screams, "No!" The sound makes her drop the monitor. She runs to the nursery and sees no one there, only her baby, crying. Later that night, she tells Josh what she heard. He tries to explain it away, maybe interference, another baby monitor nearby, but she knows what she heard. Days later, things get worse. Objects move on their own. Pictures fall. Doors open by themselves. Renee hears footsteps when she's alone. Even their older son Foster says he's scared of Dalton's room. He doesn't like when his brother walks around at night. Josh grows distant. He spends longer hours at work, coming home late. Renee feels abandoned. One night she's bathing, and through the steamed window, she sees a shape. A figure staring in. When she looks again, it's gone. Another night, she hears the front door creak open. The alarm suddenly screams through the house. Josh runs to check, weapon in hand, but no one's there. Only the cold wind through the open door. Outside, nothing moves. Inside, the silence feels heavier than ever. Renee tries to calm herself. She plays the piano again to distract her mind, but in the corner of her eye, she sees something move. A man standing still, half in shadow. When she turns fully, he's gone. She gasps, heart racing, and calls for Josh. He doesn't see anyone. He tells her to rest, but she's sure someone was there. That night, while Josh sleeps beside her, she wakes to the sound of footsteps. She looks toward the door. A dark figure stands near the crib. It doesn't move. Its face is blurred, human but wrong. She screams for Josh, who leaps from bed, turning on the light. No one's there. The alarm goes off again, echoing through the house. By morning, she's had enough. Renee begs him to leave. She can't stay in this house another night. Josh hesitates, but seeing her terror, he agrees. They pack up and move, hoping distance will break whatever curse follows them. But peace doesn't come. In the new house, Renee feels the same chill. She hears the same sounds. One afternoon, she sees a small boy run through the hallway, giggling, hiding. She follows him into Dalton's room. The closet door creaks open on its own. Inside, something moves. It's not a child. It's pale, grinning, wrong. Josh comes home to find her shaken and crying. She tells him the thing from the old house followed them. He doesn't believe it until his mother, Lorraine, arrives. She says she dreamed about their house the night before. In her dream, she saw a dark figure standing over Dalton's bed. When she asked who it was, it whispered one word, Dalton. Before she can finish, a loud crash shakes the house. Something unseen moves through the hallway. They rush into Dalton's room. The lamp flickers, the baby cries. Then, a black shadow crawls up the wall behind the boy's bed. It's there only for a second, but it's enough. Renee screams. Josh stares in disbelief. Lorraine grabs his arm, trembling. She says softly, "It's here." Everything falls silent again, but the truth is out. The thing haunting them isn't gone. It never was. The camera lingers on Dalton's still body. The air hums with something unseen, waiting. Renee whispers that they have to find help. Josh looks lost, finally realizing he can't ignore it anymore. The lights flicker once more. A faint shadow crosses the wall. The same shape from the very beginning. It watches them, patient, waiting for its chance. Running from your fears won't stop them. They'll follow you, no matter where you go. The next day Lorraine returns, but she isn't alone. She brings an older woman with calm eyes and a voice that sounds like she's seen everything. Her name is Elise Rainier, a psychic who helps people trapped between worlds. Josh and Renee don't know whether to believe her, but they're desperate. Two strange men follow behind her, carrying cameras and blinking gadgets. They introduce themselves as Specs and Tucker, ghost hunters, in their own eccentric way. They set up meters, lights, and screens, measuring invisible energy that fills the air. As they test each room, Tucker's readings spike around Dalton's bed. Then Elise steps in quietly. She closes her eyes and breathes. The house seems to hold its breath too. She walks through the halls like she's following a scent. Her hand touches the wall, then the door frame, then the crib. Finally, she enters Dalton's room and stops. Her face changes. She sees something the others can't. She whispers, "He's here." Specs pulls out his sketchbook. Whatever Elise describes, he draws. Her voice trembles as she speaks. She says she sees a creature with a red face, black hands, long claws, eyes like two holes in the dark. She calls it a parasite, feeding on fear. Specs draws every detail, his pencil scratching faster and faster until the page shows a red-faced demon crouching beside Dalton's bed. Renee gasps. Josh stares in disbelief. Elise tells them the truth no doctor could. Dalton isn't sick. He's not even in a coma. His body is empty. His spirit has gone wandering too far from home. She explains something called astral projection, the ability to leave your body while you dream. Most people only drift close, but Dalton went too far. He crossed into a place she calls the further, a dark world full of lost souls. Now, spirits are drawn to his body because it's an empty vessel. Some only want life again. But one, the red-faced demon, wants power. Josh shakes his head, refusing to believe it. He calls it nonsense, says she's preying on their fear. Renee begs him to stop, but Josh storms out, saying he won't let anyone talk about his son like that. Days later, the house feels heavier than ever. Renee starts seeing faces, old ghosts walking through the hall. She knows Elise was right. Josh tries to escape by staying late at work. He hides from what's happening until his mother finally tells him something she's never said before. When he was a child, he used to see the same old woman, the one haunting Dalton now. She would appear in photographs behind him, closer every time. Until one day, Lorraine begged Elise to help him forget. Elise blocked his memories so he could live a normal life. But now, it's happening again, to his son. Josh realizes he can't run anymore. He calls Elise back. That night, Elise prepares a seance. The lights are dim. Everyone sits around Dalton's bed. Renee, Lorraine, Josh, and the two investigators. Elise places a gas mask over her mouth, a long tube connecting to Specs so he can write down whatever she says. She slips into a trance. Her breathing slows. Then, in a voice that isn't hers, she begins to speak. Whispers fill the room. Voices from somewhere else. Specs scribbles frantically, trying to keep up. Elise's body jerks as she shouts commands no one understands. The lights flash. Something unseen grabs her hand and throws the table across the room. Renee screams. Tucker's camera bursts with light, capturing shadowy shapes all around them. Elise rips off the mask, gasping for air. She says she saw Dalton, but he's trapped, chained in the dark, surrounded by things that want to steal his body. The only way to reach him is for someone to go there. Someone who's done it before. Someone like Josh. Josh looks terrified. He doesn't want to remember what Elise made him forget, but she tells him he's the only one who can bring Dalton back. He agrees. That night, Elise sets up candles around Dalton's bed. She tells Josh to close his eyes and listen to her voice. He breathes deeply, letting the room fade away. Elise whispers softly, guiding him out of his body. back into the realm he once escaped. The candles flicker as Josh's spirit slips free. The room grows cold. He opens his eyes, but he's not in the same world anymore. Everything is dark and colorless. The air hums like a low scream. He sees shadows frozen mid-motion, people standing still as if time forgot them. He calls for Dalton, his voice echoing endlessly. A faint cry answers from far away. He follows it, down endless halls, through a mirror version of his home, past the piano where Renee once played, now covered in dust and blood. Faces appear behind the windows, whispering his name. He finds the red door, the same door Dalton used to draw in his pictures. It glows faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Josh opens it. Inside, the demon's lair burns red. Chains hang from the ceiling. The air smells of smoke and iron. Dalton sits in a corner, bound by heavy chains, his body pale and trembling. Above him, the red-faced demon sharpens its claws, its black eyes fixed on Josh. Josh steps forward, calling his son's name. Dalton looks up and begins to cry. The demon roars, a sound that shakes the room. Josh grabs the chains, yanking them loose as the creature lunges. He fights back with everything he has. The demon slashes, claws tearing through the air. Josh punches, kicks, desperate to protect his son. He pulls Dalton close and shouts for him to wake up, but the world around them begins to crumble. Screaming souls flood the hallway outside, reaching for them, trying to drag them down. Josh runs, holding Dalton tight, dodging pale hands that claw from the walls. They sprint through the fog as the demon roars behind them. Meanwhile, in the real world, Elise and the others sit around Dalton's body. The candles flicker wildly. Dalton's heart monitor jumps. Renee calls his name over and over, begging him to come back. Inside the further, Josh sees a faint light. Their house. He pushes toward it, dragging Dalton along. They crash through a door, bursting into their real bedroom. Josh shouts for Dalton to open his eyes, and suddenly, he does. Dalton gasps, alive again. Renee sobs, hugging him tightly. The nightmare seems over, but something about Josh feels different. His voice sounds colder. His eyes linger too long on Elise. Later, as the chaos settles, Elise studies Josh carefully. Something about him isn't right. She quietly lifts her camera and takes a photo. The flash goes off. Josh snaps, angry, shouting that she shouldn't have done that. Elise looks at the picture and gasps. The photo shows not Josh, but the dark old woman standing behind him. Before she can speak, Josh's hands close around her throat. Elise chokes, struggling, and then falls silent. The room grows still. Moments later, Renee walks in, smiling in relief. She thanks Elise for everything. But Elise doesn't answer. She's slumped in her chair, lifeless. Confused, Renee turns slowly toward Josh. He's standing by the window, his back to her. She says his name softly. He turns around. His face looks calm, almost too calm. Renee reaches for the camera Elise dropped. She picks it up, hands shaking, and presses the button to view the last photo. Her eyes widen in horror. In the image, she sees the truth. The old woman with the black veil staring through Josh's eyes. She gasps. The screen goes black. Evil doesn't always live in haunted houses. Sometimes it hides inside the people we love most. Would you risk your soul to save your family? Like, subscribe, and come back for more haunting movie recaps.